Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another Talking with Zion episode 7. Wow. Last time I spoke to you, a bunch has happened. Baseball, we got 2 games of baseball in one. Basketball's cracking down on gambling. NFL Giants season is officially over. Hockey is back. The Knicks are here. Let's break it down. Let's talk about it. First off with the Knicks. They're here. They're legit. The Mike Brown era has officially started. They're 3-1. This team looks more revived, more juiced up than anything. I mean, they're passing the ball more. They're using so many players on the bench. I mean, I think Mike Brown used like 11 players, 12 players. They're moving the ball around. They're scoring. Lost to the Heat, but you can't complain. You beat Boston. You won opening night. They're balling. They're here. Mike Brown was saying, he's loving the way their chemistry is. He has a bunch of toys that he could play with in the lineup. The way he's using Kolek, Clarkson, he's using Brunson. Brunson is not the main guy now. Brunson could score 15 and we could still win. So that with Catch dropping double doubles. OG Mikel looks like a whole brand new player. You start to wonder, what did Tom Thibodeau do to this team that had them so limited, besides running his starters 40 plus minutes in a game? In the postseason, it's all about being fresh, having your fresh legs out there, because basketball is a cardio sport. But man, this team looks energized. They look good. I'm happy. 3-1. Can't complain. I think I don't know who they play next. I have to check. But I can't really complain so much. The way they've been playing, they've been battling against that Cavs team that was mostly a top 2 team in the East. The way they were able to play and beat them, and Cal was hurting. He had I think a grade 2 quad strain. In fact, he did his thing against Mobley and Jared Allen. Jared Allen was non-existent the whole game. I'm really happy to see that. Speaking of basketball, this gambling crackdown. Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, all of them are getting cracked down on illegal poker games, illegal sports gambling. Terry Rozier, I think he faked an injury, and he apparently it's like $200,000 that he got for that, and it's pretty insane. I wonder how this affects other sports. Baseball, I don't know if you revisit the Ohtani thing. You got to probably investigate that. Probably check out football, especially this Sunday's game against the Eagles and the Giants. Definitely, Cash Patel should investigate that, because that was one of the worst. I don't like complaining about officiating when you lose by double-digit points, because it's like you got beat. But the officiating in that game was so bad, it was unreal. I mean, I didn't. There was no other way to describe it. When the talk of the town was officiating for that game, for a Giants-Eagles game that is one of the juiced up rivalries in football, I mean, you really can't ignore it. I do think more will come out. It's rough to really talk about that. It's still a pending investigation, so I really can't sit here and talk about it for more than the time I really want to. It is crazy. It does make me wonder how did the NBA clear many players for their investigation, but the FBI says something else. So was the NBA putting it under the rug? I mean, were they not really batting an eye? Who knows? My Giants. I sit here today sad, depressed, angry, mad. You lose to Philly by 18. Season's over. Saquon ran for 170 yards. Cam Scatterble's out for the year with a dislocated ankle on an illegal hip drop tackle by Philly linebacker Zach Bond, which to me was one of the most dirtiest plays you could see in football. A play that was banned last year was the hip drop tackle. Can't grab him by the hip and slam him down. Exactly what he did to Scatterbull. I don't want an apology from him, to be honest. I know Philly security went and he gave Scatterbull pizza and cheesesteaks, and he made sure he was all right. I like Roger Goodell. I think he's one of the best commissioners in sports. I'm not too fan of commissioners. I don't like Adam Silver from basketball. I do not like Ron Manfred from baseball. I do think they both, as a collective, try to damage the sport that they commission in. I think Manfred's terrible for baseball. I think Silver's terrible for basketball. I like Gary Bettman from hockey, and I like Roger Goodell. I think Goodell's doing a great job with the sport. I would think otherwise if he doesn't suspend Zach Bond. Do not fine him. Fining him $10,000 doesn't teach him a lesson. The same way you suspended Brian Branch for hitting Juju Smith-Schuster after the game for throwing a punch, you suspend Zach Bond for doing an illegal hip drop tackle. A play that you wholeheartedly took away because you said it was quote unquote dirty and illegal. That game was rough. Losing him, you could tell the team momentum went out the window. Saquon ran all over them. I don't think Joe Shane and Brian Daboll survive another year. I think John Mara lets him play out this year. He should really deeply reevaluate this team and make some changes, starting with Shane Bowen, defensive coordinator for the Giants. I don't sit here and claim that anybody should get fired from their job. Shane Bowen should definitely get fired from his job. I mean, this guy's just plain out terrible. He makes you want to poke your eyes out watching him call plays for this defense. 2nd and 31, Giants are down 11. I think the Eagles had it in the 39-yard line. They were trying to march downfield. And you run a defensive play that you're rushing 3, and you let the backup running back, Tank Bigsby, just run on you. And he ran for 37 yards. I mean, that's just inexcusable. That's not the first time you've done it. I mean, I'm just proud that you didn't drop 8 and get hurt on a vert seam pass, but instead you got killed by the run. He has no feel for the game. He has no adjustments. I don't know. I don't think he's a proper defensive coordinator. I think he should really look elsewhere and maybe taking either going back to college or just taking a linebacker or a positional coaching job. Because him calling a defensive scheme as a whole just doesn't work out. Brian Daboll, I mean, it was rough because the officiating did screw him up on many plays. Jalen Hurts' touch push was a fumble that I don't know why they didn't call. He challenged it. It still wasn't. It was a clear fumble. That's a play that should get banned because how should you go forward with the ball and it's good enough for forward progress, but not good enough for the play to be still ongoing? I think Daboll is going to get fired just for the fact that you ran Wink Martin out of town. Shane Bowen's your hire. It didn't work out. I just don't know. And it frustrates me a lot because it's like there's no improvement with this team. I mean, it's year after year they start 2-6 or 1-7 by the week 8 mark. He's not really improving this team for the better. And it's hurtful when your season's already over by week 8 and there's nothing to look forward to. I'm just happy that Jackson Dart's the franchise quarterback. At least you know you have your QB. But it's another year where I'm just waiting for April to happen and the draft to happen. Because I just don't know what is there to really be proud of. I mean, the defensive has talent. The team has talent from both sides. Offense has talent. Defense has talent. They just can't put it together. And I just don't know if Brian Daboll's the man for that. Joe Shane, the Giants GM, is definitely not the man for that. He's constructed a flawed roster in the sense of his draft picks have been sketchy, have been misses. He drafted Deontay Banks. Deontay Banks doesn't care about football. I'm going to say that right here. Deontay Banks is playing like just for a check. Because, my God, the way he guarded Devontae Smith, he let him have a free 10 yards. I mean, this guy does not give a damn about football at all. And it's sickening because he was so good his rookie year, and now he looks bad, and then you still play him. But you play him because you didn't get another defensive corner. Corey Black. I mean, this guy, Corey Black, he's a waiver wire player. You're playing him because you're so defensively flawed you cannot draft. His best pick has been Jackson Dart, and the Dart pick was forced by Brian Dable. So you really weren't gonna pick up Dart. I mean, Dexter Lawrence is a Dave Gettleman guy, he's not Joe Schoen. The best thing Joe Schoen has done is get Brian Burns. That's the one move I think I could say, Joe Schoen, you've cooked with that move. You made the team better with that move, with the Brian Burns trade. And the sad part about this is your other moves suck so badly that Brian Burns has double-digit sacks in week 8 and is going to be for a team that's 2-8. Because I think they lose to the 49ers this week. For a team that's 2-7, trending to be 2-8. So it's like, what more can you do? I mean, I'm looking at the draft now, and I like some players. I don't know if Joe Schoen picks them up, because it's like, what are you gonna do with your first round pick? Are you gonna get another cornerback? You can't draft corners. Deonte Banks. I mean, look at him. Is that another player that Shane Bowen's gonna ruin? Are you gonna draft a receiver that? I mean, how is that gonna work? I mean, like, is Brian Dable or Mike Katz gonna be calling plays for this wide receiver? Because you paid Darius Slayton $17 million, and look, he can't catch a football to save his life. He drops many balls. He can't get open. They can't separate. And I think that's the biggest Giants problem. Against Philly, Jackson Dart has to run, pass. And nobody's there open. I mean, I just don't get it. It's frustrating as a football fan to see it happen. It's like, it's mind-boggling because this team has talent on ends. They just play like they don't, and it's a problem that comes from coaching. The problem that comes from development. It's a huge problem that you can point the fingers to many people in the Giants organization. They went from being 16 days ago. I was talking and I said, hey, they beat Philly. They beat Philly in MetLife. They blew them out. The team's future is bright. I cannot say that today. The future is bright, yes. I cannot say there's light at the end of the tunnel if Brian Dable and Joe Schoen are still here at the end of the year. And next year. If next year I'm here talking to you guys in week 1 and they're starting, I might lose my mind. Because this hard schedule wasn't hard at all. You could have beat Kansas City. Russell Wilson threw 2 picks, and you didn't put Dart. You put Dart as a decoy. Washington's game 1, you could have won. Then you go to the Broncos game. You should have executed that game. This Philly game, you could have won if you really locked in and coached up and didn't coach it and didn't defensively scheme it like that. It's frustrating all around. I mean, I just don't know what else to say about the Giants. I am still gonna watch. I am still heavily invested. I do want to see how Dart develops without no talent around him. It's gonna be a sight to see, and I want to see how Shane Bowen schemes up this defense. His players aren't happy. So what are you gonna do to change that? That's enough Giants for me. Jets finally got their win, man. Rest in peace to Nick Mangold. That win was for him. The Jets played hard. They played all out. They did their thing, man. I was happy to see the Jets team. Aaron Glenn, he finally got some life to him. He was hype. He was juiced up. I mean, it's good to see one fall. I mean, nobody's going to get fired from the Jets. Going 0-17 doesn't make a lot of sense. But, man, it was good to see them finally juiced up and finally winning. They won a nail-biter, but they won. 1-7, you take those for Aaron Glenn, whose team was struggling, whose team, they wanted him fired already, and he only lasted 10 games. He didn't have the leash that Dable and these guys have. But, man, they played and they did their thing, man. I'm happy for him. Breece Hall finally got in the end zone. Justin Fields, he finally calmed down. I know Woody Johnson was brutally hurting him in the owners' meeting. I know he was telling him he can't pass. He was this. He was that. Which was true. I'm not gonna sit here and pull the victim card for for Fields. I mean, he was playing bad. I'm happy to see him finally win this one. He needed that not only for the record book, he needed that mentally. Hopefully, this is one of many for Fields and the Jets, and they go on and they can win it. I know you got Sauce, you got Quinnen, you got Quincy. These guys defensively, they did their thing. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, this is a building block because I think for New York football fans, they like to see a lot of tearing it down after 4 or 5 games, and it's not part of a rebuild. A rebuild is you build, you're building, and you're adding to what you're building. You don't build, tear it down, and then build again. So hopefully, there is more to many for them. Hockey, Rangers are looking brutal, man. They can't score at home. They're not really, from what I'm seeing, they're not scoring. Igor's playing lights out, but it's like you need goals to win, and they're not really scoring. It's frustrating to see. I'm an Islanders fan, but it's frustrating to see from a hockey perspective a team that's not performing with a new head coach. They fired Laviolette, they fired Gallant, so you got Mike Sullivan. You're still not performing to the standard that you're supposed to be performing. You got JT Miller, you got Mike Zibanejad, you got all these guys, Panarin, and you're not putting up points. So it's like, is it bad money allocation? Is it coaching? Is it just your team? It's so many questions that I ask for. Islanders look okay. I'm happy the way the team's playing. Matthew Schaefer, Ilya Sorokin is looking iffy. I wonder how this leash is gonna go for goalie. But they're clicking. They're a young team. I don't expect them to make the playoffs, but they're young and they're hungry. I think by next season they should be already competing fully all the way. I'm not a huge fan of Patrick Roy, the coach, and the way he does his lines, but it's a young team. I guess the patience. I got to be patient myself and see how this unfolds. Baseball, man. 18 innings of World Series baseball, man. You cannot complain. Game starts at 7 and ends at 3 in the morning. Baseball, you really can't complain. You got an extra game in there. Undoubtedly, you got a game in there. Before I talk about this World Series, some Yankee talk. Aroldis Chapman. Aroldis Chapman, man. I mean, the comments he made, feeling disrespected and everything. I just don't know. It's so hypocritical. The way you costed your team with a tattoo infection, with being out due to domestic abuses, with all this, and then you sit here and say you're disrespected. You costed your team many opportunities, man. I really hope. I think he said that because he heard from somebody else. More thinking like Vlad Jr. I don't know why he was come out and say that because like you did more damage to the Yankees than they did to you, and plus you were a bad closer, so they had to already cut the knot tie. So that's enough about Cham. I'm not giving this time. I do got to wrap up, but Dodgers win 6-5. Freddie Freeman's legit. This team is clicking. Ohtani's red hot. He pitches. He goes on the bump tonight. Make it 3-1, and then they go back to Canada. I mean, shoot, Dodgers may go back to back. That's what. Hey, they invest in their team. That's what they do. The team is stacked all around. They're clicking. Toronto for tonight for them is a must win. Vlad and them have to lock in. They got to hit the pitching. Has to be perfect. Pitching's not perfect. I think the series wraps up tonight. So let's see what happens, man. Hopefully they really lock in and makes it go to 6, makes it go to 7. That's about it. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully, it's a better sports for the Giants next week. And we're talking, hopefully, Dodgers end it, man. I don't really like Toronto, so hopefully they end it. And then in 5,